Hello, my name is Joshua Dilaranya and this is my video presentation for AMTE 228 on how thermal fire detectors works. And this is my first selection, single loop. The single loop system, so how it works when fire is detected, starting from the DC bus. And here, if you want to dim the lights of your warning system, the electricity will go to this nav light switch, and the dimming relay will activate this switch to a magnetic through the use of magnetic force, thus attracting the switch and pointing it here downwards. Then the electricity will be forced to go to the resistor, thus lessening the flow of electricity throughout the whole system. So, what if we don't want to dim the lights and if fire is detected? Well, it will start from the DC bus, then straight to the warning lights. Then the electricity will flow through each thermal detectors. Then, as you can see here, the electricity will be grounded once it reaches the thermal switches. Now, what if we want to test the single loop system? Then electricity will start, as always, start from the DC bus. Then if we want to test the system, we would have to press the test switch right over here. Then the flow of electricity would still be the same. It will go through the warning lights, then through the thermal switches, then it will be grounded. The only difference is the flow of electricity will go right down here to the test relay. Then the test relay would activate this test switch through a magnetic field, thus attracting this test switch to this ground over here. So that is basically what the single loop system, how the single loop system works. So next we have the double loop system. This works slightly similar to the single loop system. The only difference is it has two loops. So how does it work when it detects fire? So starting from the DC bus, it will go from here to the relay. Then the relay will push electricity out over here to this area over here. Then the electricity will flow through these switch to these detectors. Then if the detector detects fire, electricity would then flow over here up the warning lights, then back to the ground. That's basically it. What happens if a loop ceases to function? Well, the other loop would still function well as as if the whole system, both the loops are functional. So starting from the DC bus again down to the relay, then let's say loop B does not work, so the electricity would flow through here, then to these detectors. Then the detectors, if if the fire is detected, will flow through here, then back up again to the warning lights, then back to the ground. So what if we want to test the system? So it starts from the DC relay, DC, then down to the relay, then the test switch would then be activated. So the flow of electricity will flow all around the loop A, activating these switches. Then this switch, both of these switch actually, would be pointed downwards. Then the flow of electricity all would travel all the way to the warning light to the ground beginning. The only difference that it made when testing is these switches points downwards rather than upwards. So for my last explanation, the thermocouple circuit. So if it detects fire, electricity would flow from the DC bus through here downwards to this switch, then onwards to this switch. So as we can see, the switches are not activated yet. So for it to be activated, these these active thermocouples should be activated via a change in temperature. The reason for this is the reference thermocouple and active thermocouple actually have the same temperature before it is activated. So for it to be activated, there must be a difference in temperature in the active thermocouple and the reference thermocouple. So when fire starts, this is also called a hot junction. So when fire is detected over here, then there will be a change in temperature in both the active and reference thermocouple. Then that would then trigger a signal to the sensitive relay, thus making a magnetic field, attracting this switch downwards, activating it. Then the flow of electricity would then go downwards here, activating the slave relay, making another magnetic field, activating this switch towards that activates the warning light, then down to the ground. So what if we want to test the thermocouple circuit? Again, it would start from the DC circuit. So same thing as before. The flow of electricity would still go from here to here, this switch, then stop right there. Then the flow of electricity would actually go downwards to the test switch. We would manually activate this test switch. So the electricity would flow through this heater. Then the heater would heat up the thermal test unit. So like what I said a while ago, for a thermocouple circuit to function, there must be a difference in temperature between the thermocouples. And that is what exactly the heater would do to the thermal test unit. It will cause a difference in the temperature of the thermocouples. Then that would trigger a signal to the sensitive relay, make a magnetic field closing the switch. And just like before, as you can see, the flow of electricity go from DC bus down here, then activating this switch via a magnetic force attracted by the thermocouple unit due to the difference in temperature. Then this would then allow the flow of electricity to the slave relay. Slave relay does another making a magnetic field, attracting this switch, activating it, and the flow of electricity would then go to the warning light, then down to the ground. That is it for my video recitation. Thank you very much.